It had to have been when he was really murdered. I love that Phoenix just fakes it till he makes it, because that's totally me. Ole, please answer the question. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
Oh, we love it.
February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering on the trials of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you could hear the howling wind call it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place? Is this correct? According to the papers? Partner? What do you mean? A desperado's soul is boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain old English. Day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Huh? I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence locker. Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Day of the crime. Okay, what do we have as evidence, by the way? Attorney's badge, Goodman's ID, King of Prosecutors trophy, Edgeworth's knife, parking stub, Blue Badger panel, Goodman's autopsy report, Goodman's note, Lana's cell phone, parking lot floor plans, crime photo, victim's shoe, a switchblade knife, luminol testing fluid, ID card reader, fingerprint set, screwdriver, Goodman's lost item report, evidence room floor plans, rubber gloves. God, we have so many. Evidence locker. Unstable jar. Oh, we have Marshall's fingerprints. Oh, we do. Okay. It seems like we can put something. We can put that on him. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room and SL9 in zip files. Okay, wait. Make rounds 3 times a day besides the room planted by 2 security systems. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon when Tim went down. Okay, this is where we're gonna press though. Oh, not press. To eat some noodles. Not the tacos. Okay, no, we want to present the fingerprints. Here. That's what we want. Present the fingerprints. Objection! Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds, about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Ooh, scandalous! Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Bing, bing, bing. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker and my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Excuse you? The witness explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. So annoying. The defense may now cross-examine. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Same, Phoenix. Now's my chance to prove it. Let's get his ass. Bloodstained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for fingerprints to be in the evidence room. That's fine. One was happening at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker. All right, this is where I'm pressing because this does not make sense. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? What if... Why do I say... Okay, what if we do at the beginning? Press the beginning, actually. It's only natural. Like, you don't even go in there. That's because you... How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? How'd you know where it was? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my fingerprints weren't all over that locker. Must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without even knowing it. Interesting. Okay, the other weird thing that struck me, they talked about the murderer wearing gloves. Why do you know that? Press. Yeah, literally, how did you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. What? There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape? So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. Oh no, man. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right? Ah, we're pressing that. Why would you say that? What do you mean? You want to tie me to this crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. Hi, KJ! Have a good night. Appreciate your pulling up. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. I'm gonna show evidence. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Dang, all this pressure. Now look. Oh, now then. Let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating... Oh, it went so fast. I hate this song, it's so creepy. Hi, Dan! How we feeling? New Year, yeah! Sorry, I'm trying to remember this video. It's been a little over a week. Oh, it's open now. Here. That's why. Yeah, that was definitely not a thing earlier. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in the certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out, that was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Go faster. Oh, the white cloth is gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Scandalous! Order. It would seem that the... Oh, hold your horses. Sorry, partner. But you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. No, you have to have your fingerprint. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? I'm just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. Oh, poor guy. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker? Now prove it. Hey, bitch. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say? In 8 words or less. Oh, we love it. What is he chewing on? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! I'm dead. Order! Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Ole! Please answer the question. What is he now? A bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There was no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? Hi, Kingwell! It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, and the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? He's V. The Blue People? Okay. I've actually never finished any of the movies either. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Absolutely not. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. But he didn't see the face. Might I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Oh. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he wouldn't have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man was Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We've got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Still denying it? You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Dang, he's really on this man for his beard. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt? The Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't heat the desert. Couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Oh, Edgeworth got something for us. Oh. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Oh, no. I'll pass to you on someone just told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would just be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, start thinking outside the box. I should look at the proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. I shouldn't look at the proof, sorry. Rather, I should look for the evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Oh, blood. I was waiting for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. This might be my first message, but I've been following for a while. Hi sandwiches. What kind of sandwiches do you like? I'm good. I'm a little sleepy, honestly, but we're good. I'm just trying to wrap up this case. It's really long, though. Like, this is my third day on it. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out. Oh, something. I clicked too fast. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? The video is the key to our answers. Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. Please show us why the witness had to open the locker. I like most sandwiches. Okay, if you had to eat a sandwich right now, what would you put on? You know? Kind of meat, you know? Kind of cheese, if you like cheese. BLT? Nice. That sounds good. That sounds really good right now, actually. A sandwich. Get Meekin's face. Blood. Right here. Is this right? Where's Y? This one? For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekin barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. I hate this guy. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now. Now would we? What does that mean? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. It seems the time has come. And you should keep lying? That's crazy. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas couldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Mickens managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for a small donation. We're just gonna press. No, an ambitious sentence. Press. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years had passed since the case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case lead's detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint. Activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open the locker yourself. But he could, because the rubber glove just happened to get stuck on the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. No more animes until next year. Pain? What do you mean no more animes? Is nothing airing this week? Is everyone on break? Hi, Stacy! Is that the only anime you're watching? Oh, JJK, Dr. Stone pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during the short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edward get such an influence? Seriously. Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry I had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. I need to watch the last JJK episode? Yeah, I need to watch JJK. I'm actually behind Dr. Stone. Is Apothecary Diary still... It should still be going, right? Dre, if you're not watching that show was so good. It's not action-y, but it's so good. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. Press this. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it could make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been out. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene clearly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone? What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Oh, who stole it then? And the woman's locker was already emptied? Someone else stole the evidence? Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. That's not how this works. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine, and I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. No, I don't know why. Are you having fun, Dre? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murderers, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at the trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with the incident? Seriously. Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I'm so glad school made me behind on the anime last couple weeks. I got hell episodes to watch. True. I don't think we wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in somewhat way to the case. I bet taking a look at all the files. Okay, this is the beginning. This is everything done. I just forget the S19 incident. Okay, so they made it seem like they wanted me to present these case files, right? Objection! Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SO9 incidents. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SO9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. Can wait for Soul Levening and Don. Also Kaiju number 8. Peak. I actually don't know what any of those are about, but I'll probably still watch them. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to public records. What do you mean? Our brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Okay. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day of the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguised himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Makins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Okay, I said that. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze me. Exactly the same time as the murder of the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? That's gotta be more than just that. Yeah. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. What? There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There's yet remains the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye, and the testimony one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I messaged Kiana crying this week because of One Piece. Yeah, no, I was like, oh, you're finally there. I rest my case. Absolutely not. I object. As soon as trial has reached its conclusion, there's room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time in disproving the alleged murder at the police station. Well, Kuma, when they texted me, they were at Marineford. But I didn't realize that one would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Hold it. Your Honor, wait. Oh, yeah, Kuma. They've hit that. The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Oh, so nice. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the S1 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. She mentioned it. The names of both Skye and sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints were found in it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over here and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be bad, I'm just a high school student. I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. I was not okay. I know. Kuma, Spacey wants to watch that shit animated next to, and I was like, dang, you're gonna do both? You're gonna go through that pain again? With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, I can't be of more use, but still. If you can't find anything wrong with the blood mark, Lana will be— Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. I like suffering, apparently. Honestly, I felt that. That's why I like Pokemon Unite, you know? What could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I object! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. I love that Phoenix just fakes it till he makes it, because that's totally me. The only thing that seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at the floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yeah, something like that when it's drawn. Will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Look, a little suffering is good for building character or some shit. I mean, they definitely built a lot of character after that happened, so I get it. A game ended. Oh, what game are you playing? Welcome back. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. All the evidence here. There's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can be proof something is missing on the floor plans? This guy. He wasn't there. We played APD. Nice. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not there. So watch what happens when you put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot in the locker. What? So that means, just what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces are undeniably found in that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger brought it in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's not the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by a security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Hi, Nirvana, welcome in. Hi, Blue. Hello. Was someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape? It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. This is ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. Get him. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first evidence occur? Oh. Hi, Fox. How we feeling? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof is just when the murder took place. There's only one piece that shows the evidence of that. Now then, will the defense please present this evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? No. It's the record. I'm 95% sure. Whoever 7777777 is. Thank you for the hydrate. Everyone drink water. Okay, the ad should be over now. Hold on. I love this bonus trial. Honestly, same. I really like this. How's the attorneying going? Honestly, I'm cooking his ass right now. I'm cooking it. It's heating up in this courtroom. Jill, my guy, how are you? It's a little spicy in here right now. Can you watch HJK? I do. I did not watch the last episode yet. Last 2 episodes, actually. Supposed to watch HJK but never did. What's holding you back? If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh, the ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. Oh, we had this award show. Oh, it's over. Let's figure this out. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have just had 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Now let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card name number remaining. 77777777. Talk about my lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make any sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number the 777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of the ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. Oh, scandalous! But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. What are you doing? Hello? I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked her up under the ID number. And it's not 777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. This SL9 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Oh, not the sure. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution of that trial. At the time, we, occasionally, felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana. I became the prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging... Okay, bitch. Okay, bitch. They put the wrong guy in, probably. Oh, no. She can't be a chief prosecutor anymore. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! 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 Lana's remark caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom. What could I wait until the following day? Yeah. To be continued. Damn, this case is long. I I feel like I'm in SpongeBob, and you know, like day 3, and like they have the little, you know, card goes across, and it's fine. This case is really great. It's just so fucking long. Ugh.